a lot of these guys, it's not about being afraid. They just don't know how to do it or what to do. And a lot of them just don't even bother to take the time to research and find out what's going on because they're so caught up in just being athletes. And we're more than athletes, and that's what I try to get these guys to understand. This is an avenue, okay, for something else. Whatever your something else is, use the basketball to get there. LeBron has figured it out. Collins figured it out. You know, but now a lot of guys are able to do that. And it's sad, you know, because, yeah, it's a short career. In the grand scheme of things, you know, 15, 20 years, it's long in basketball, but it's still short. You know, you're done playing at 40. Now you got another 40, 50 years to live. What are you going to do?
Right. There's only so many clubs and cars and strip clubs you can go to after a while.
Amen.
It should get boring. It should get boring. With that being said, one of my pet peeves is the conversation on paying college athletes. You come from a culture that, you know, and your parents and your country where education is paramount. How do you feel about the one and done? But I personally, let me give you how I feel, and then you can expound. I feel that it is designed to make NBA players disposable simply because I don't truly learn my craft. Like you said, you progressively got better. I don't, learn my craft. I don't be mature. I don't have the room to mature as you did with your upperclassmen showing you the way. And then when I get to the league, I play for a little while. Either I'm very good and I stay, or overseas, or I'm begging to get back in the league. Talk to me about paying players in college and how you see that play out in regards to the entire one-and-done situation.
First of all, I'll tell you this. It's all about control, okay? They want to control these kids. I've always said this, you know, back in the days when guys were able to come out of college or out of high school, rather, general managers were not doing their jobs of scouting. And so a lot of these young guys were not ready, but it's not their fault that you drafted them. If you draft them, make sure you help them get better. That's the bottom line. But they weren't doing that. You know, they would just focus on, you know, how do we need you guys to help us save us from ourselves. That was the mentality, you know. And then all of a sudden, they said, no, you guys cannot come out of high school anymore. But how can you stop an 18-year-old, you know, that you can send to war, but you can't go get a job in the NBA? That doesn't make sense to me. I can go die right now at 18, but I can't go play basketball at 18? That's ridiculous. Again, it comes down to control. The NCAA they're the biggest pimps ever. These guys are the biggest pimps ever created. Iceberg Slim ain't got nothing on the NCAA. They manipulate. They make billions. The March Madness, it's like ridiculous. All they're doing is making money off of these kids, and they do it with the emphasis on, well, you are getting a scholarship and you're getting an education. No, they're not. These kids are not learning because nobody even takes the time to make sure that they're learning. So you give them a one and done. So you think anybody's really going to do any work during that 1 year? No. Wow. It's absurd to me. None of this stuff is geared to helping these kids get an education or to help them do anything other than just feed the machine, which is NCAA basketball. That's their biggest moneymaker is basketball and football, you know. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, March Madness is a billion-dollar generator. Just that whole thing alone, just March Madness, nothing else. It's like $2 billion being made just off of that alone. And so now, you know, yeah, but they control the narrative, they control the kids, and like I said, it's all about control. And then they're working in cahoots, and that's why I'm saying the NBA needs to get rid of that one and done crap. Let these kids come out and just do a better job. Set this thing up like baseball has it. Baseball has the best system. Okay, they're 18 years old. They can go into the minor leagues. They go into single A, right? Now they got to go to double A. Then they go to triple A, and then they get to the show. Bottom line, If a kid is good enough in basketball, then yes, then he can come in and play. But you monitor that. But at the same time, have a farm team. You know, they're trying to do it now with the G League. But every team should have a G League affiliate, a minor league. And then they do the same thing. They play if they're not able to maintain in the show, you send them to minors. At least now they're getting paid to be professionals. They're already professionals, just somebody else is getting paid. The NCAA. In college, they are professionals because somebody's making money off their backs. So they should be called professional athletes the minute they step on a college campus.
Wow. It's refreshing to hear someone say this, because at all points, man, all you hear is, you know, I've actually heard people on like Sirius Satellite Radio, and they are speaking with a condescending tone to the effect of, "Hey man, you're getting a free education." This dude Lance Meadow literally said this. These are
anybody
about
can get a hold up. Not to cut you off. Let me stop. This is what you tell them.
Shoot.
Anybody can get a free education. What are they talking about? I can go right now. I don't need a scholarship to get an education. No one does. I can go sit in a classroom anywhere in this country and learn. Right?
This is
I
true.
live in LA. I can go to UCLA right now. Okay? Get up every morning, go sit in a class. Sit in this class, sit in that class, in this class, and learn. I just don't get the grades. That's it. But I learn. I get an education. I get the same college education as anybody else that's paying for it. That's what people don't understand. You just don't get the grading. So how is that? But at the same time, so they're getting a free education. So that means you can make $3-4 billion off of me, and you guys share it amongst each other, and I get nothing because I'm getting a free education, so to speak. That free education is only $100,000.
You make that.
It's only $100,000. They need to cut that crap out.
Make more than that.
They need to cut that crap out.
Hey man, you should hear this guy speak. He was saying that the schools are brands, and the brands were established before these players. Therefore, the players should be glad to be there.
Okay, fine. Then let them go to the NBA. The guys that are good enough. Exactly. And he's right. That's a good point. You know, because I've always said this. If you look at the NCAA tournament, rarely do you have a top guy, you know, in the tournament, you know, all the way to the Final Four of the championship game. I mean, we had the championship game now. I mean, these guys that played, they're probably going to be second rounders. You know, you might have one first-round guy. And so the brand itself, yes, is going to survive no matter what. You know, my point being, let these guys be able to go to the NBA if they so choose, or to be professionals. In Europe, they turn professional at 13. The kid, Luka Doncic, who's about to be drafted, either 1 or 2, he's been a professional since he was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Professional, making money. Why are we holding these kids back? And the reason is it's always the black kids. They're the ones that want to go pro. Because the white kids, how many white kids do you know that go hardship? You rarely have them. You might have 1 or 2 every 5 years. All the guys that turn pro or that want to, you know, that do one and done, they're always young black men.
Wow.
Don't get me started.
Don't get any pushback. All right, hey, finish. Hey, you sound like me on Wednesday, man. This is exactly my point.
Well, I need to call you on Wednesday.
hey, feel free. You call any day of the week, man. 7-9 on Wednesday. You be on anytime you want. Hey, this Oden, let me preach. Hey, and I'll tell the church to say amen. It's my point of view exactly, Oden. It's insane. It's like you can do anything. I'm trying to understand how. So, you know, I always hear these schools are losing money. And I always say that's just like when corporate America says, we are projecting $75 million in profit, and then they make $65 million in profit, and they say we took a $10 million loss. No, you just didn't hit the goal that you thought you were going to hit. You made money. You just didn't make the money you wanted to make. Don't tell me Alabama could be losing money with other sports when the football team made $100 million last year. Well, actually, the last time they won the championship, the football made $100 million. That's not counting the other 3 years that they didn't win it and this year. So, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not an economist. But $100 million on a college campus goes a very long way.
It goes a very long way.
Especially in Alabama, especially in Durham, North Carolina, especially in Mississippi, and so forth and so on. So don't tell me $100 million is $100 million in every corner from Bangor, Maine to San Diego.
I had a solution to this thing. Like they always talk about paying players and all that stuff because, they always say they give you a scholarship, right? So, but it's never like money in hand. It's just, hey, we're going to give you a scholarship, meaning you can come and learn for free. Okay, well, how about if you give me the actual money, Instead of giving me the scholarship, just give me the money, but you put it in escrow, right? So all these colleges, and because it's not everybody, there's just top players. You put it in escrow. Right. Let's say DeAndre Ayton, who's probably going to be the number one player, Arizona. Arizona puts $100,000 in escrow if he stays 1 year, right? If he leaves, goes hardship, and goes make millions and millions of dollars, boom, that money comes right back to the school, right?
Right.
You get a player that stays 2 years. Now, it's 200 in there. 3 years, 300, and so on. So if he stays all 4 years and he graduates, that money is his. He might not make the NBA, but now he's got money invested in him, and it's his money. But the schools have gotten 4 years' worth of service out of him.
Makes sense.
And the only way he gets the money is by graduating. Now you put an emphasis on getting an education.
Exactly.
But they're not going to do it because it's too much like right.
Oh yeah, we don't need people. We don't need to be pulling people out of poverty. We need you right where you are, so we can keep our foot on your neck. That's more than obvious. Let me ask you this question. Me and you spoke earlier about how our impoverished situation or working class situation or whatever it is in regards to the individual, how those things made us stronger. Some of those things also have subliminal mental effects on us, whereas we're depressed, PTSD, and things of that nature. For example, I can remember I grew up down the street from Cabrini Green Projects. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. The TV show
Cabrini Green. Good times, anytime.
Exactly. I can remember two of my closest friends that still my friends to this day. I can literally remember me and these guys standing in front of our house and saying, hey, man, it's summertime. You get your summer job. You got a little money, disposable income. And we go, hey, you hungry? Yeah, let's hurry up and go down to Sammy because they'll be shooting in a few minutes. And that meant nothing to us. Let's hurry up. I can remember being on the basketball court and getting a basketball shot out of the air. It meant nothing to me at this point. It was like, oh, damn, they ruined our game. That was the only thing, being a 47-year-old man, I had to be out of my damn mind. But as a 16, 17-year-old boy, it was, oh, man, here we go. Should these schools, if nothing else, provide some form of counseling for these young men so you won't have domestic violence or erratic violent episodes from these young men? Because last time I checked, I'm college educated. Everybody has a medical school. Every medical school has psych programs.
B, listen. You are using common sense right now. Okay. Unfortunately, common sense died many, many years ago. Okay? It died many, many years ago, and that's why we're in the situation we are now. I, too, am familiar with shootings on the basketball court. I remember many a days we're playing, at King Towers, and guns, everybody takes off running. People arguing over the score. I remember a young man knocking out a referee because he made a bad call. Referee hits his head on the concrete. He dies right there on the court. So I've seen all that violence. I've seen